forgot where I put my webcam now. Good day, fellow geeks. On this week's episode of Geeks of Azeroth, we're going to be talking about Garrosh Hellscream, Russell Brower, and private servers. Again, yeah, we're bringing that up. All that and more in this week's episode of Geeks of Azeroth.
You're listening to the Blizzard Community Podcast, produced by Geeks, for Geeks. Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth.
That's right. This is Geeks of Azeroth, and you are not mistaken. That was the legendary Koltrane. Used to be on Convert to Raid podcast. He was very kind and did some new sounders for us. Great dude. He joined our Discord community, and so should you. Discord, Geeks of Azeroth. We'll have a link for you in the show description. But welcome to episode 100 and what is this, 125?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 125, Geeks of Azeroth. My name's Tarley. With me, as always, we've got Britzza.
Hello.
And we got SleepyGary.
Good morning.
Since becoming married, have you become a lot more posh?
Yeah, I'm going to start wearing a suit and tie every week.
You mean you don't do that already? I don't check the live stream. I thought we were all suited in tuxes.
Is that what
time to
British
suit up?
What you're wearing, is that what British people call tuxes?
Yes, given the state of our economy, this is all we can afford.
All right, fair enough. We won't push the topic too far. So welcome. Zeta and Kale are both in the Twitch chat. They are two of the finalists for that giveaway from our 3-year anniversary. Stay tuned. Of course, we're going to make you stay till the end of the show, where you will have a chance to win by playing Blizzard 20 Questions with us. But let's talk about our week. I want to go first this week, because I'm special. Not really, but I just want to talk about how I've finally hit that point in World of Warcraft where my monk is just so amazing that I've run out of stuff to do. My monk is once again highest eye level and killed, 923. Holla. But no, I'm actually really back to loving other Blizzard games again. Thank you, Gary, in part. But when I was at Gary's wedding, we were watching HGC because that was way more important than wedding affairs. And I think I'm finally hooked into Heroes of the Storm, and I'm loving it. Loving playing Heroes now. It's so much fun. I've also been playing Overwatch a bit and Hearthstone, and of course WoW when I need to be. So I've had a really well-rounded week in Blizzard games. Feels good.
Awesome. You're a proper Blizzite, or what do they call us? Is there a name for Blizzard fans? I don't know. I feel there should be.
Nerds.
Don't make it Blizzard.
Britzza, how was your week? Also, I listened to the podcast last week. Mm-hmm. You and Drake has did an awesome job.
Oh, thank you. It didn't mess up all the time, so a pretty good show all round. But yeah, I'm trying to think. A lot has happened in the last couple of weeks. So more recently for me, I am still loving Legion. I have decided to push for my third 110. Watching you get every class has made me think, well, maybe I should try and catch up. So I'm playing Fire Mage at the moment and just really loving it. I appreciate it's probably not the fastest way to level. It's not the fastest spec, but I'm just really enjoying watching things explode and die pretty quickly. So, and you mentioned a couple of weeks ago about the heirlooms and how quickly it makes you level. Yeah. My God.
It does, right?
You can't get flight paths quick enough in this game. It's ridiculous. I mean, thank God I've got flying, because otherwise I think that's the thing that would kill me. But
yeah, really the heirlooms and combination of flying. I mean, you can do it so fast once you know the route, which quest you just shouldn't do because they waste your time and stuff like that. Once you get that down, and when you've done it 12 times, you kind of figure that out about around 6. But
yeah, it's like 40, 50 minutes a level, and I haven't even got to the dungeon quest for my first zone. I imagine that will give me like
with heirlooms. Those are very worth doing. It's half a level about.
So,
but invasions, you will get guaranteed a full level worth of experience from an invasion.
Really?
Yep.
So fingers crossed.
Most of the time, it's near a level and a half. Honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I didn't fully appreciate how quickly you could level your ults until I started doing it. So anyone who's thinking about whether you should level your ults, do it now before Argus kicks in, because I think once that happens, we're all going to be throwing our mains headfirst into that.
The catch-up is going to be even more ridiculous in 7.3, which we've talked about a lot. True. So that is going to be a good patch for alts, I think, finally. I mean, catch-up isn't too bad right now, but it's going to be even easier once Argus comes out. Gary, what? Oh, yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry, no, I was going to say, I'm very much in the same boat as you, where I've been hearing a lot of podcasts on HGC and Overwatch World Cup, and I'm kind of getting hooked into that more as a spectator than a player, but I think I'm going to start coming back to Heroes. Yeah. So really enjoying it.
Gary, how's your week?
Pretty good. Lots of Heroes. HGC got me hooked back into it. I've always played a decent amount, but I've been playing much more recently. Especially, since Tarley's been playing, and it's a game we can play together and not get super salty at each other. So, kind of great there. And then
WoW tends to make us salty at each other. Well, that's
It's gotten a bit better though, at least.
It is. When we're both on our monks and we're carrying the team, it's good.
Oh yeah. Our me and Lily's raid team one shot killed Jaden on normal last week with me tanking and Lily on his monk. So that was good. I've been playing my monk a lot more. Fantastic.
Yeah. Gary is probably sorry, Snow. Gary's probably my new favorite tank. He's really good at monk. I know she's in chat.
Can I get this?
I'm waiting for the fight.
The screen is getting punked somewhere, isn't
it? Waiting for the fight me in chat?
Yeah. Well, we already got fight me earlier if you read up, but... What else have you been playing?
A little bit of StarCraft. The war chest is absolutely amazing. A lot of people are upset that you have to actually play the game to get what you pay for. But that being said, when you pay for it, you get a bunch of stuff for not a whole lot of money.
You get literally an entire army's worth of new skins. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's... What? I think Nathanius broke it down that it's like 25 cents per skin or something. So at 25 cents per skin, when normally you're paying like $2.50 a skin,
yeah,
like that's fantastic. It's so worth it, and all that you have to do is play a really good game.
Yeah, so. I forgot to mention too. I'm also back in StarCraft 2, and we had a really hilarious moment just to kind of prove how #deadgame StarCraft 2 is.
Still hate you.
Gary was playing StarCraft 2, and I was playing StarCraft 2. And I just, no party, nothing affiliated with each other playing. I went to queue for ranked ladder, and I queued into a match against Gary.
No way.
Yep.
And then he proceeded to destroy me.
Which, that was even weirder, but, yeah.
I was not playing my main race.
He was playing Protoss. But...
So you think it's a dead game, but you rocket it? Apparently,
I just like to trigger Gary. I love StarCraft 2. I have a StarCraft 2 tattoo. It's one of my favorite games. I just like to make Gary mad.
But Blizzard doesn't know that. If Blizzard hears this, you might just log into Battle.net one day and find that there is no StarCraft button and a little message going, "Screw you, Tarley."
See, that would make me very sad. I love StarCraft.
Before we move on, actually, can I ask you guys, because a lot happened last week. A lot of news regarding Knights of the Frozen Throne, and my mind's gone blank, but a lot happened. I just wondered whether there was anything in the show last week that you had any thoughts
See, there was something that I was listening to the podcast in my car, and there was something that you and Dracast were discussing, and you were clearly missing one point in particular, and I kept yelling, like, no, it's, and now I can't remember what I was yelling in my car about. Like, what was it?
I have spaced out almost all of the podcast from last week because my attention span is that of a gnat. But the one part of it that I do remember was Drake asking, why in the world I'm Gary? And she was just so confused, and it was priceless. I enjoyed it.
I hope I gave the explanation some credit, because I think I fluffed it. But then you and Zool got married on the same day, which completely screwed over one of our other theories. So
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was funny too at the beginning because you're just like, two of our own, Zool and Gary, they getting married today, and then pause, not to each other. That was pretty good. But hey, let's say we move on. I'd say it's time for news. Wait, I don't have the old sounders pulled up.
Hashtag you were not prepared.
Hey, we recording? Yeah? Okay.
News of the week.
That's right. That was awkward. It's time for news of the week. And this week we've got interesting stuff to talk about. We're going to start right off the bat with Heroes of the Storm. We've got May is officially confirmed. May, if she was a giant red orc with horns on her shoulders and Gorehowl the axe and a really bad temper tantrum.
I think that would have made the player base slightly happier.
No, we're getting Garrosh Hellscream confirmed coming to the Nexus. We have yet to see a in development video for him describing what he's going to play like. So my question for you guys is, how do you think his kit's going to be? Because it seems like we already have a couple characters like Varian and Sonya that kind of fit the role of a classic warrior. So what kind of a hero do you think Garrosh is going to be?
I get the sense he's going to have some sort of dive mechanic, a bit like what you see. I know it was Grom doing it, but from the cinematic for Warlords. I just get the sense there will be something there where he'll just swing Gorehowl and kind of, play a little bit like that. Or I'm thinking of Doomfist, but he's obviously not going to play anything like Doomfist. But
do we have anybody with a charge? We don't have just a straight up charge, do we?
Butcher.
Varian.
Butcher and Varian, yeah.
And so I was talking to Zeta, because he is kind of my outlet of, heroes information, because it's easier than trying to keep track of it myself. For example, he just posted a link of the official character art in chat. This is why we keep you around, Zeta.
We have other reasons for keeping you around, but never mind. You're heroes. But he was telling me that they were talking about how they had to introduce new mechanics into the game just for this character. So I'm not sure what that exactly means or what it's going to lead to, but I think it's going to be a very unique kit. That being said, they chose the wrong Hellscream, in my opinion.
Oh.
I agree. I would think Grom would just be better. I hate Garrosh. I think a lot of people hate Garrosh. Just from what he did, he destroyed Pandaria. Come on, the guy's a douche. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, everyone loves pandas.
I think a lot of characters weren't particularly good that have made it into Heroes of the Storm. Kerrigan destroyed entire planets. She made it in.
Yeah, but she's awesome. She's the Queen of Blades.
Yeah,
Zeta actually had a really interesting point. Now, you played League of Legends, right, Britzza?
I have played it. I haven't played it in a while, though.
Rumble. So Zeta suggested Garrosh could be like Rumble, and if he's like Rumble, that would definitely be interesting.
How does Rumble play?
He rumbles.
So just rolls across the battlefield.
Okay, let me find... Let me find his kit for you real quick. I can just kind of read off his abilities. But he was... Rumble was kind of like... who's the goblin in the mech suit? I've never played that guy.
Oh, Gazlo?
Yeah. He kind of looked like that. I don't think he'd have a flamethrower. That's right. No, never mind. Rumble's... I was thinking... someone else. I don't. Zeta, I disagree. I don't think Rumble would be a Garrosh.
I wonder if they won't put some like Shaw infestation stuff into his talent kit though. Like what point in Hellscream's
Yeah, I could see that, like, our rage meter, and we're commenting on Twitch chat here, too. Because Rumble built up heat, and the more heat he built up, the more damage he did. So I could see that kind of working at a rage mechanic. Obviously, Garrosh was a hothead. Maybe he does more damage the more angry he is, like, literally build off that. And on your point, Gary, he's actually, the more angry he is, he becomes shock corrupted, literally turning into his final boss mode in Siege of Orgrimmar, where he's, like, completely shock corrupted. That would actually be interesting.
I was going to say, do you think that will be an ability, or do you think that will be a skin?
Shock corrupted Garrosh would be an amazing skin.
Yeah, it would
be amazing. I'd like to see both, but I have a feeling that they'll try and squeeze it into a skin, if that makes sense, rather than focus the ability around him. But in a sense, we don't know. I was going to say we don't know enough about Garrosh to say which format he falls into. Like, is he definitely going to be a warrior?
I don't see what else
I think
he could
so. Oh, well, he could be assassin.
No, calling it now, actually. Calling it now, Garrosh is a healer.
No.
He's learnt his lesson, and now he offers comforting words and pancakes.
Gary Cakes.
Misunderstood. Gary Cakes. Oh my god. There could be a buff ability in there, because his for the True Horde ideology, you could see him like plant a banner down, and maybe that gives an AoE damage boost for a certain while. You could really play around with that mechanic as well and say it gives a damage boost but takes away health by comparison, because it's the fury of the True Horde. I don't know, but I totally see
honestly,
your point, Gary.
I would kind of like to see like a demoralizing shout type ability. Like he hops into the middle of the enemy team, uses this ability, and then everyone does less damage.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would fit well for a warrior, which seems to be what kind of role I would want from Garrosh, at least. And then maybe like an ability where he throws like one of his iron stars out, because that was in his raid fight as well. And then
iron stars in heroes. Jeez.
You know what? Yeah.
And then I think for the third ability, do something relating to the Gore Howl, like maybe for a certain amount of time he gets extra attack speed and his attacks heal or something. Although, with the demoralizing shout thing, please, Blizzard, if you haven't officially named that ability and that ability is in, call it Hellscream, or I will be super disappointed.
I now Zeta, thank you. I really want just a whole dessert themed skin, like where he's wearing cupcakes and all this kind of stuff, and he just victory or strawberries.
You never know. You never know.
It's all speculation at this point. I expect we will obviously get the video. I mean, I didn't realize until I've really been paying attention to heroes how quickly they release information on new heroes after releasing a previous hero. They do such a good job with that. So
it's like a 3 to 4 week cycle. So normally it's like you find out about the hero like a week or two after the new one's out. And then, his information, his kit, immediately available.
I'm sorry. Garrosh ice cream.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
All right.
I think we've just destroyed a perfectly robust character with our ice cream puns. Hellscream ice cream.
All right. Well, yeah, either way, we'll find out this week, most likely. I'd be surprised if we didn't. We'll find out what his kit is.
He's just a shout. Sorry, he's going to be playable at China Joy this coming week, and then he's hitting the PTR on the 31st of July. So we'll definitely, I think, know by midweek what his say is.
Very cool. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk about it next week, of course. What we actually think of the kit, what we think of Garrosh ice cream. We'll let you know. So another bit of news that we actually didn't have on the show notes, but I wanted to talk about it. Now that it is technically part of the Blizzard family, I want to talk a little bit about Destiny 2. console beta just went live this last week. PC beta to come in August. But I didn't want to wait for that. I decided to download it on my PS4 and give it a try. And guys, I'm impressed. There are definitely some issues that need to be ironed out, specifically with ability cooldowns. They take forever to get both your grenade and your special, so it almost makes them kind of like not necessarily useless, but it's just like if you miss a grenade, for instance, you're like, well, I have to wait 5 minutes to grenade again. But I see the point why they did it. You feel less powerful than you did before, which is probably the point of it. But I ran a dungeon with Icarus. He's been on the show before, and dungeon mechanic, like way more so than the first game. Actual boss mechanics, like don't stand in the fire, and there's it was a 3-phased encounter, and you're like pulling him here, kiting him here, doing all these different mechanics, and like Destiny 2 is super solid, guys, and I can't recommend it enough. Just from what I played in the beta, super excited to play it on PC beta.
That says a lot that you're saying that about beta.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot that we haven't seen. Like, systems-wise, that's where Destiny and Endgame, that's where the first Destiny failed. But I would still put the $60 price tag as worth it to the original Destiny, because it was a solid single-player shooter experience that was just ultimately lacking in the Endgame.
Essentially, Destiny, like the original Destiny, hit the mark for a good single-player game. It just billed itself as like a pseudo MMO, and it didn't deliver on those features. So
now that they've got full queuable systems, which is the first one was definitely lacking, you can queue for every type of group content, including the raids, into. I think that fixes a major problem right off the bat.
Well, and for us in particular, I mean, having it on PC and having the friends list
from Battle.net,
from Battle.net. Especially, like, if you get in with, like, a guild in WoW, that's going to be a great system for it. Because I don't know about you, Tarley, but lately I've been, like, opening up my friends list, and suddenly I've got 20 friends online. Yep. I'm like, well, that's great.
Yep.
We've got people playing pretty much every different Blizzard game. I'm like, I could play with any of these people at any time.
I'm just really stoked. I mean, I've already got it pre-ordered, I'll be honest, but I'm just really stoked to have Destiny as a part of my Blizzard, my Battle.net launcher. Like, just totally stoked. It's going to be really cool. And yeah, the beta definitely impressed me, and I'm really looking forward to see how much better it looks on PC. I mean, it already was a step above the first game on PS4. The second one graphically looks way better. I can't wait to see it on PC.
Are you guys building up your Battle.net balance by any chance to save a bit of cash, or
yeah,
straight off?
Yes, I am. I'm up to $30 Battle.net balance from making and selling flasks.
I need to invest more time into making WoW Gold for both the WoW Gold and the real life money.
I've seen videos of WoW Gold farmers who have like $300 Battle.net balance. Like, I think that's the cap, and they just keep it capped constantly.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I watch people making money, like saying, "Oh, I'm saving this up for Destiny," and then I look at myself and I go, "I'm poor in both ways." Money. Like I struggled to skimp out enough money on one server for the heirlooms. That's how bad my cash has got.
I think I'm at about 150k overall, which isn't terrible. It's enough for a single token, but that's been that's like I think most of that came from buying a WoW token and selling it on the auction house. So
all right, that doesn't count, Gary. All right, moving on. Enough about Destiny 2. Let us know in the on Twitter or Twitch or whatever if you're going to be playing Destiny. We're going to have a Geeks of Azeroth or Epic Geeks Guild on Destiny 2 where we'll be doing raids, etc., etc. Let us know if you want to be a part of that community. Maybe we'll have a Destiny podcast. Who knows? We might not like it that much. We'll see.
3 weeks in. Nah, scrap it.
So, sad news coming out this week. There's been a lot of sad news, especially if you're a Linkin Park fan this week. But sad news, Blizzard-wise, Russell Brower leaving Blizzard after 12 years. And this is particularly interesting. He's not leaving on his own accord. It sounds to me like Blizzard is ending his job title. Like his position is no longer a position at Blizzard. Russell Brower has been the lead composer for all of Blizzard's music in every game for the last 12 years. So all that iconic music, that Dalaran theme that we all love so much.
That's every WoW game, isn't it?
He's been in every WoW game, and he's been a part of every other Blizzard franchise, including Overwatch. So all that iconic music, and they're just saying bye-bye.
And it's, what do they call it? His role was effectively made redundant because of a sound decentralization initiative, to quote what he put on Facebook. So it sounds like they're, based on that phrase alone, it sounds like they're starting to outsource music to either other teams or other businesses, potentially. So that's interesting in itself, because like you say, Blizzard has been, its games have been probably as famous for its music as much as the gameplay it's offered. And to think that they're thinking that they can hand that over to other people, it's going to be interesting to see perhaps how the next expansion ties up, because that will be a big measuring point as to whether they've shot themselves in the foot here. And it's based on the comments, it seems a lot of people agree with that Blizzard made a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Well,
whether that's right or not, I don't know.
It's kind of interesting, too, because he mentions that he's still probably going to be composing stuff for Blizzard as like as freelance. So I wonder how much of this is just Blizzard saying, hey, look, we're not going to keep this job title, and you're welcome to still do essentially what you've been doing, but we're not going to keep your title here. Like, we're not going to keep your office, but you can still do the job. You just have to do it from home now. Which seems like kind of a terrible thing to do, but he also doesn't seem terribly beat up about it either. Like, nowhere in his post does he have any inclination of, like, I'm mad at Blizzard. It's hey, I'm leaving. I've had a really good time. Thank you for everything, more than anything.
Yeah, and that's good, at least. That he's not super salt. But it's really interesting because we saw, and I'm almost wondering if Activision is a part of this, because we saw something very similar happen to Bungie near the end of the original Destiny's release, where their lead composer at Bungie, his position was just cut, like last minute, and then they had to redo the entire score for Destiny because they couldn't use his music. And this guy was iconic for Bungie. I mean, Halo was impartially known for that amazing soundtrack. You hear the Halo soundtrack, it's a Halo soundtrack, right? And then they just cut this guy's position out of nowhere. I wonder if this is partially Activision, because, Bungie and Activision Blizzard, maybe Activision just doesn't like composers. You guys are asking for too much money to write some scribbly lines down on paper.
I think that is exactly how the conversation went down.
I don't know why Activision CEOs are from, like, Texas, but
Texas, yeah. He's not going to struggle to find a job. Like, it's just bittersweet, because, like you say, he isn't doing this of his own accord. He loves the company, he loves the things he's worked on, and unfortunately, the decision's been made for him. And it's tough when anyone loses their job, but he has a huge track record behind him, and I don't see how, he talked about how he is going to potentially freelance, and that's probably the reason behind it, is because it doesn't want to pay someone full time for something that they can dip in and out of. But, he's probably going to find that he's got more freedom. He talks about his album coming out and all sorts. So,
is he dropping a hot mixtape?
He is dropping the hottest album ever. It's a solo album. And he says it's well underway, so stay tuned. So definitely follow him on Facebook or Twitter if you want to.
Dalaran themed remix.
Like a heavy metal dubstep
version. Please. With Nomi chanting in the background.
Yeah, like screams from Khadgar and that.
More crystals, champion!
Like death metal Khadgar. I love it. Oh dear. Potential collaboration with the Geeks of Azeroth podcast, I think.
I hope so. Yep. Gary does great vocals.
No.
Just about as good as my best man speech, anyway.
Well, maybe.
All right, next bit of news. So Blizzard smacking down the servers again. There was a newly opened Burning Crusade private server, and Blizzard said, nope, stop it. We don't like the community having fun unless it's on our terms. And they shut it down. I mean, yeah. It is against terms of service. It is technically stealing their game and putting it up and potentially making a profit off of it. I get it, but Blizzard, come on. If you're not going to support the community, if you're going to tell these people to stop doing it, and this is beating a dead horse here, they should just do it themselves, right? There's such a, obviously a want for it out there. I don't necessarily know if I'd play it. I don't know if you guys would play it, but there's obviously a decent size amount of people who would play classic servers.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough thing to discuss because it is illegal what they're doing. They're stealing someone's property and using it to make money for themselves, effectively, because that's how they're funding it and financing it. But you're right in the sense that it feels... What it is as gamers, we feel bad telling people that they can't enjoy their passions. And when they're trying to be inventive about ways to bring people together and they get slapped down by the big corporation, we feel like that's something like that's wrong. But they've got to... The bottom line is they've got to find a way to convince Blizzard it's worth the money investing in. They shouldn't be going around them. I think they need to keep petitioning Blizzard and talking to Blizzard. Do what Nostarius did, but just have a better outcome. And Nostarius went in there for the meetings with Blizzard, and obviously it bombed massively. But if you have a decent group together and you go and see Blizzard with a good idea and a model, and you have the details there, like how you're going to finance it, how many people are going to come together, then you might get something going. But you can't just steal something and go, right, look how awesome this is, Blizzard. Look how much we're enjoying this game. You don't really want to shut us down because you're stealing their money in a sense. Yeah. So it's going to be tough. And I have a feeling that this is going to happen again. I think more people are going to try and do it because in a sense, the weird thing is this only happened because I think sites like MMORPG and Wowhead covered the server. I think if they had been a bit quieter, they probably would still be going. It's just because they got so much coverage. The Blizzard noticed and seems to just stop it before it even took off.
What do you think, Gary?
Yes.
I feel like I ranted there, so correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Pretty much spot on, in my opinion. Yes. Let's stick with it.
Yes. Everybody agree with Britzza. All bow down to Britzza.
Oh my God, no, don't do that, ever.
No, you are spot on, though. I mean, Nostarius blew it, basically. I mean, because they did go into Blizzard and they had a successful meeting, from the sounds of it. Like, the meeting was good, and then when Blizzard didn't say anything about classic servers at BlizzCon, then they just, flew off the lid and said, oh, well, we're going to release all our information and open up our private server again. That was definitely not the way to go about that at all.
Whereas if someone just has a bit of patience with them, I think Blizzard will be a lot more tolerant, because you're spot on by saying there's a lot of people who want this. You know, people don't want to keep playing the new iteration. They want to play the game that they came together and loved, all those years ago. So
and it just really is like one of those cases, if you are nostalgic, you can always go back and play a game that you played when you were a kid, and you can enjoy it and you can play it. But WoW is like a weird example of a game that you just can't do that with. You can't go back and play the old game that you played when you were a kid. You're stuck playing Legion or whatever the new thing is. So I think, just being able to have a way to do that officially, legally, to go back and play the old game if you want to, it should be a thing. One thing to make you guys feel old, did you know that the post-Cataclysm world is now older than the vanilla world?
Really?
What?
Yes. Yeah. The world has been sundered and broken longer than it
wasn't.
Pre-Katza, yeah.
That's incredible. That does make me feel really, really old.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just in time for it to suffer another sundering.
Everything's covered in Naga.
Yeah, it would be a shame if the Naga turned up. Put out all those flames.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that. I mean, because I still remember the old days before Darkshore had a giant tornado tearing everything up. Oh, those were the days.
Were
I'm
they,
a bit
though?
taken back, yeah.
No, it is rose-tinted glasses, too, to look back at the old days and say they're better than now. Legion is fantastic. We can't deny that. Legion is an amazing expansion and what it's done for the game, but people get nostalgic. I mean, I go back and play old games sometimes and then realize they suck compared to modern games, but you still have to have that moment.
You know, it's super amazing finding those games that actually age well. Things like Mario,
Oh, yeah.
Mario, even when you go back now, is still a good game. It looks terrible,
But mechanically, it's so good.
yeah. And you know, honestly, even the graphics of it age pretty well, just because it's that, you know, pixel art style of animation, and it looks. You can tell it's old, but it still isn't painful to look at, like some PS1 games when they started doing 3D.
I mean, and I'm super stoked to play StarCraft Remastered, you know, like, there's nothing really that remastered about it. It just doesn't look completely garbage at high resolution, right? So, and that game still holds up. People still play it competitively in Korea, so.
Yeah, Brood War, I think, is the epitome of RTSs. Like,
We're completely off topic now, by the way.
Right.
Are we, though? Because this just goes to show exactly why, you know, Blizzard is looking at games, older games, and thinking about how it can make money off them. So, you know, I guess it fits to this topic by saying, if Blizzard thinks it can make money, or someone goes over and tells Blizzard how they think it can make money, then they'll do it. They'll put a team on it. Sorry, going back to what you're saying.
Unless it costs them more money than they would make from it.
Exactly, but in which case, it's not... Why shouldn't they say no? Because, you know, why should they bow down to players saying, you should spend this amount of money to make a game that's not going to make you anything? That's not going to make sense to anyone. And plus, it means we'd lose an Overwatch hero and a Heroes of the Storm map as a cost as well. So
Hearthstone makes enough money to just fund Blizzard for years on its own, so I don't think they're really worried about it.
I feel like Blizzard has made themselves into, like, every game we have is a cash cow. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll give you this stuff that you don't have to pay for, but you're going to buy the loot boxes because we know you can't control your impulses.
Yeah.
Look at this amazing Tracer skin. Look at it. You have to have it, Tarley. Like, that's how I feel like it is every.
Well, you might want to start.
That's crazy, because one thing that happened last night was I was on Heroes of the Storm. I was leveling up Malthael, and I saw that they've got a beginner's loot box, which, by the way, if you haven't got it, get it, because you'll get like a guaranteed hero. It might be a duplicate, but you'll get a guaranteed 1,000 shards, or whatever they're called, which will get you a free hero at some point anyways, and it costs like $7 or like a $5 here in the UK, so it's definitely worth it. But when I went to go pay for it, for the first time ever, Blizzard didn't ask me for like some of the codes on the back of my card. So quite literally, I clicked it thinking I was going to get prompted, and it just paid for it. It's just so easy to pay for things now on Blizzard without even realising it. And you're right, I have no impulse control now, so I might have to just take my cards off.
I'm not. I have a sick feeling there's going to be that kind of level of like skinnage and microtransaction in Destiny 2. And the second they released a gun skin that's covered in murlocs, there goes my money.
You only have to buy it once, Tarley. You don't have to buy it like 50 times.
But I have to get the skin for all of my guns.
Oh, right. Okay.
In Destiny 2, you have like 50 guns on you at all times.
I feel like that should be some sort of group for us. Like, we can all meet anonymously and talk about our spending habits with Blizzard.
I challenge each and every one of our listeners to go on to Battle.net purchase history right now and add up all your money. And
I refuse.
I've done it. I've done it. I will tell you that it is more than $3,000.
But over how long?
10 years. But
10 years? That's still $300 a year.
On Blizzard titles.
Yeah.
All right, so that was kind of depressing about my economic past. Let's StarCraft is timeless. Let's do some new old servers. Yes. Overwatch. Let's talk about Overwatch. Overwatch devs explain why Terry Crews is not Doomfist. Britzza, you found this article. Why don't you go ahead and talk? Because you put a pronunciation for the actor's name, and I still don't know.
Yeah, so I'm going to get this out of the way. So when Sung Gouger, I had to look up an entire YouTube video just to find him saying his own name. He's the guy who voices Doomfist. When Sar got announced as the actor, obviously a huge, backlash, in a sense. Some of it was backlash against Blizzard came about where people were saying, "Oh, it's not my Doomfist." Terry Crews was supposed to be the guy for me, and you can discuss it either way. I think personally, I think Terry Crews was having just a bit of fun with it all, but you can't blame anyone for the way it's planned out. Sar has done a brilliant job with it, but Blizzard was recently asked why they didn't choose Terry, basically. Because he obviously went to Blizzard and they had a chat, and to paraphrase the link in the article that we'll put out, they basically said that they were interested in Terry, and they are keeping him in mind for future things, but when they heard Sar's audition for Doomfist, it just blew them away, and they said that's our Doomfist straight away. So it's not that Terry Crews did anything wrong, it's just Sar's voice totally captured what they were looking for in Doomfist, and they just thought, we need him for the role.
Yeah, I mean, he's the leader of Talon, right? He's one of the big bad guys, and I just don't think that's necessary. Like, nothing against Terry Crews. He's a really funny guy, a great actor, but that's the kind of person Terry Crews should play, as a funny guy, more of a lighthearted hero, not the leader of the big villainous group, Talon. I completely agree. I think Saw did a great job playing him on the PTR. His voice line totally fits. It feels totally natural. I think Terry Crews running and screaming at everybody would not fit the character that Doomfist is. Like, I originally imagined Doomfist actually being like Terry Crews, just huge and just silly. But now I see the character, I see what Blizzard wants from him, so I completely get it. I understand. I'm not salty. KL, you only spent $445 on Blizzard. That's not bad at all. Congrats.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the Doomfist comic that they released?
No.
That Zeta just put into chat too?
Thank you, Zeta.
The Omnic in there, I think, could make a really interesting...
Yep, Maximilian
character.
Is the name of the Omnic, theorized to be the next hero, and they also theorized the release date. So in this comic, they are playing a game of craps, I think it is. There's blackjack. They're playing some kind of game, and in the background, like completely not even like relevant to what was happening in the panels of the comic, there was another the dealer said two things. Said 7 and, or no, he said 11. Yeah, 7-11. Just out of nowhere. Now, those dates might sound irrelevant, but they are somewhat relevant because that would be, or no, it was 7-11, because that would be November 7th, the Tuesday following BlizzCon. And they're talking about Maximilian. That's how that's relevant.
So is Maximilian this guy at the casino table?
Yeah, the red-eyed Omnic. Yeah.
Okay. As a complete side note, before I forget, like this casino dress-up Widowmaker needs to be a skin as well.
Absolutely,
I agree.
It's such a cool skin, and in fact, I want James Bond Doomfist as a skin as well.
Yeah, tuxedo Doomfist.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, got sidetracked.
So, I mean, it makes perfect sense. I mean, because if you look at the hero release schedule from last year, we had Ana in the summer, followed by Sombra announcement, and very short release afterwards after BlizzCon. She was announced at BlizzCon. So, we're obviously having Doomfist next on Tuesday. I can definitely see next hero, maybe Maximilian, announced at BlizzCon release, or at least PTR release on the 7th of November.
Okay. Another tinfoil hat theory that Blizzard's going to have to make happen.
But how can we even call these tinfoil hat theories anymore? We have been right about so many things lately that I think we just work at Blizzard and you guys don't know it, and we don't know it either.
We work at Blizzard, we just don't get the paycheck.
Exactly.
Well, actually, you've got a point there, because Ben Brode said when they were announcing Knights of the Frozen Throne that people had guessed the clues they had put in the previous expansions, and there were things they had used to hit. I mean, other than the fact they registered the name, like something Frozen Throne.
Well, yeah, Blizzard does this so well. I mean, like before Doomfist or the new map was released, they in an interview, Jeff Kaplan was just literally saying, like, not even in the game, he's just saying candidly, yeah, our new hero is on the horizon. The new map was called Horizon Lunar Station, and then shortly after that map released, Doomfist was announced. So it's like, Blizzard loves doing this kind of thing. That's why the 7-Eleven is so important. But it was in French, for one thing. And you might think, well, it's 7-Eleven, that would be July 11th. No, because the rest of the world actually says, not U.S., but the rest of the world says the day first, then the month. So, yeah, it is all speculation, but it seems very likely. Gary, you have an interesting face.
I was looking at my purchase history. It's a very long list.
Oh, jeez. He hasn't got past last week yet. Scrolling for hours.
yeah, my list is quite long. I mean, granted, mine's probably, I don't even want, it's been a long time since I looked at mine, but mine now includes 5 years of BlizzCon tickets at this point, so...
Which are a lot, to be honest.
Yes, those are a lot. Anywho, anything else on Doomfist?
One last thing from me. I definitely want the pirate Doomfist at the end of this comic to be a skin. Definitely make that happen, Blizzard. And the Pirate Reaper. Gotta make those happen. Maybe Halloween's coming up soon.
Maybe there'll be a pirate holiday.
Pirate? Yeah, why wouldn't there be a pirate holiday?
Yarr!
It better be on National Talk Like a Pirate Day.
It has to be, yeah. I agree.
Of course. Yarr.
But did you guys see the fun that Namco poked at Overwatch for their Doomfist skin that looked like Jack from Tekken?
I didn't.
Did you see that?
No.
Oh, so they released that Cyborg Doomfist?
Mm-hmm.
And the guys over at Tekken 7 tweeted, and like they posted a side-by-side picture of the Doomfist skin and Jack from Tekken. And you have to admit, it can only be a homage, because otherwise it's complete stealing. It quite literally is Jack from Tekken. And the tweet basically said, "I'll see what you've done there, Overwatch." And I thought that was really interesting, because in a sense I can see Blizzard wants to like pay respect to some of their favourite games, but I think in a sense that caught people off guard, because it almost looked like they were stealing Jack for Doomfist. But it's interesting at least. So well done, Blizz, for doing an Astarius and stealing an IP.
And Blizzard pretty much straight up said that they Doomfist is a fighting game character, right? Like, that's where his kit comes from.
I want Doomfist in HOTS.
That would be cool.
It's going to happen one day.
I would be good with that.
It's quite a long link, Zeta, that you put in our chat. I'm going to ban you from chat for 5 minutes.
Don't click it.
Just
Don't
kidding.
click it.
Just kidding. Right. Anything else on Doomfist? All right. Good. The answer was no. So last bit of news.
We got it right.
2 last bits of news, and we might as well. I don't think we need a discussion of the week. The show's already been going for almost an hour as is, unless you guys had something particular you wanted to discuss. But first off, here we'll talk about the Hearthstone Fire Festival. Ended with a little bit of a surprise that I don't think anybody expected. The Frost Lord Ahun said, "No, stop this! Turn down your fire festivities. It's time for the Frost Festival." And he's basically begging everyone to play, what's that mode called? Arena. Yep. And so you go in Arena, you get free stuff. You get a free round of Arena, first of all. And you can win a lot of goodies. I don't know. It seems like we're getting a lot more Hearthstone events lately, other than just, expansion releases, which is good to see. Encourages people to keep doing quests. Really, just encouraging people and giving players ways to get cards that isn't spending money, which, from my perspective, I spend money on every other Blizzard game, but for some reason when it comes to Hearthstone, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. So it is good. I like to see that kind of stuff.
That being said, are you going to spend money on this set?
No. Yeah. Yeah. I want to have a Death Knight Hunter. I have to do it.
Yeah, right? Like, I haven't been this hyped about a Hearthstone set since, Whispers, I think. Which is the last one. Like, I'm really considering looking at my bank account and saying if I can just drop another $50 on card packs. Because, I have no impulse control and Blizzard made it easy. Yeah.
I can just sense the guys at Blizzard giving Russell Brower a call saying, "Don't worry, we've just heard SleepyGary's going to buy some more packs. We can hire you back now."
Your salary will be based on how much Gary spends on Blizzard stuff throughout a year. It'd probably be enough to pay anyone's salary, to be honest, but
it's not quite that bad. Maybe.
But it will be. I'd say I'm really excited for this set as well. I was talking last week's show that I'm really tempted to throw myself in, and I think I will come back to Hearthstone for this. Because it's the expansion we've all been asking for years. So if I don't play it now, then I'll never play Hearthstone, basically.
I guess the only thing I'm disappointed with about this expansion is you won't have a Death Knight forever. Eventually, the Death Knight decks will be invalid and no one will play them anymore, and it won't be a thing. It's not the same thing as having a permanent Death Knight deck, but that doesn't give up hope that Blizzard will give us a Monk deck, so fingers crossed.
You can always just create your own private server, Tarley.
Yeah, I'll make a private Hearthstone server. There you go. What are you going to do, Blizzard? Try and stop me. So Hearthstone's in a pretty good place right now. Hearthstone's not going anywhere. Hearthstone is one of the biggest games in the world, believe it or not, as far as just player base and money made. So good job, Blizzard, there. Keep it up. Last bit of news. For the first time since they've started doing them, I actually participated yesterday in one of the new micro holidays that Blizzard has been putting out. Unfortunately, as of recording this micro holiday is already over, but don't worry because you will see it. It'll reoccur multiple times throughout a year. The Auction House Dance Party was happening over the weekend, Friday and Saturday, the day. And it was so cool. There was nothing really special about it except you go into your auction house and the floor is changed to this amazing 3D disco floor. There's the Karazhan party music playing. There's disco balls hanging from the ceiling, and where the auctioneer stand has been cleared off, and they periodically pull anybody who's in the dance floor, all races, they'll pull up all Blood Elves at once or all Tauren at once. To dance, and they're just they're dancing in sync, and it looked amazing. When they pulled up the monks, we're all dancing together. It was amazing. It was just such a cool event, and since we're on an RP server, there's so many people packed into the auction house. I don't know why it was so special, why it felt so cool, but it was really unique, and I'm just really impressed with Blizzard. and I can't wait to see the transmog event that will happen, the fashion show thing. Because this dance party thing has me convinced, like, yeah, this was a really cool little event they did. What else are they doing? Because I hadn't paid attention to it previously. What do you guys think? Did you check it out?
I checked it out, yeah.
You didn't, Gary?
No, I meant to, and then I got sidetracked, and then I didn't. I got nothing else for you. It looked really cool. I saw a lot of good feedback, but I forgot about it.
Rip.
Yeah. Bad at video games and podcast things. It happens. Although apparently I am not bad at spending money on Blizzard titles.
No. Have you added up yet? Are you still...
I'm working on it.
Still scrolling up.
I'm about halfway through the list, and I'm already at $1,000, so...
Oh my god.
Britzza, what about you? What did you think?
Yeah, I checked it out. I was... I can't even know I don't even know why I went to Stormwind on that particular day. I saw it was there. I went to check it out. And you're right. It's exactly what these events are supposed to be, which is a cool little distraction to bring people together and get them, being silly in inverted commas, just having fun. Yeah. And there's no point. It's not, we can forget about the endless grinding and rep gains and mount hunting for a minute and just be a bit wacky, which I thought was really, really well captured there. It's really colourful. Like, I wasn't sure. I know we'd seen photos and that, but it's really vibrant, the stuff going on there. And the thing that caught me off guard was I was expecting this weekend to happen and hear that, like, on some PvP server, like, one of the dance parties had just been absolutely wrecked by the Horde or something. But that never seemed to have happened. So it went pretty well, I think. And like you, really look forward to seeing what the future holds. The transmog party in particular, because I can't remember what the reward is for that.
Transmog sets, actually. I believe you can actually get some transmog sets. I believe. I may be wrong. It may be a first time for me, but I may be wrong. So don't quote me.
But the thing being is that because there's an actual reward on the end of that, I think you're going to get even more participation because, even I'm hunting transmogs at the moment and I'm still a pretty casual player. So I'll definitely be checking it out.
Cool. So that about wraps up the news of the week. Well, there's been a lot to talk about. We ended up more having, I would say, discussions about each news topic. Was there anything in particular that you guys noticed that you would like to have a discussion about? So I think we could move right into deciding the winner.
I'm good with that idea.
Yeah,
I'm about to remove my bank card from Blizzard already, so...
I'm surprised your wife hasn't done that already.
Actually, okay, before we dive into the finale of the show here, sorry guys, there was one quick topic I could discuss with you. Discussion of the week! Sounder. Okay. I should just do that every week. I lost it. Okay, so Jaina.
Good discussion topic, Tarley. Good discussion topic.
I want to ask you guys a question about Jaina. So, what if Jaina is not the bad guy next expansion, but she is actually going to be working side by side with us to fight Sylvanas?
I could see it happen.
Jaina is extremely pissed off right now. She goes to her home of Koltrane, and she realizes that everyone is corrupted and worshipping the old gods. They've turned into a cult. And Jaina realizes that the only way to save her people is to work by uniting the Horde and Alliance together. And Jaina takes the reins from Khadgar in leading us to an expansion.
Yeah, I mean, you could take that even further and say that her thinking is that, there was a link between the Forsaken. They were originally servants of the Lich King, who was a servant of the Burning Legion, who effectively were servants linked back to the old gods. In some respects, I think so. So, theoretically, she could sit there, see that corruption going on and think, now the Horde is not, you know, we got rid of that racist orc, and now we've replaced her with a you know, absolutely mental servant of the old gods, in the form of Sylvanas. So it could be.
See, like all of the things that Il'gynoth says, we have her heart is a crater, and we have filled it. I really think that more applies to Sylvanas than it does to Jaina, or even the Azeroth World Soul. But I think more so they're talking about Sylvanas, because specifically the lines that Il'gynoth and others say to Alliance players in particular, that Horde players miss out on, are the lines of, she has already sowed her seeds of destruction for the Alliance, blah, blah, blah. I don't think Jaina would do that if they were talking about Jaina. Like, as much as she hates the Horde, I don't think she'd be wanting to sow seeds of destruction for the Alliance.
Well,
she could do it incoherently, though. Or she could just be to the point where she's like, hey, if you're not with me, you're against me, and the Horde and Alliance are working together, and I want to kill the Horde, so I also want to kill the Alliance.
That's very true.
But I think if Jaina is a villain, it's going to be Jaina was corrupted by an old god villain.
Right.
It's the old god striking back.
She's like, don't give away our plan.
Nazoth. Oh, God.
Nazoth? I mean, I forgot on what theories. Jesus, it's happening again.
We're spoiling his plans. We better just move on to the finale right now.
I get die. Last thought on that for you, Tarley. There's been a huge build-up with Jaina. You know, the absence. We haven't had anything.
There's obviously something with it.
There's obviously something going on. I'm just wondering, do you think in the next expansion you'd like to see her character develop further, or go for one big finale where we potentially see her killed off in some way?
Personally, I would like to actually fight Jaina and kill her off. Like, and I'm not a huge fan of Jaina, and yes, I've read the novels, and that's why I'm not a fan of Jaina. But I'm honestly, the Warcraft storyline has done the like fallen hero redemption storyline so many times. I just don't want to do that again with Jaina. I'm fine with her being a fallen hero, but let's just kill her this time.
All right.
And we're obviously, I mean, since Snow's here and I don't want to kick you out again, I'm not going to spoil it, but patch 7.3, as you guys know, as we talked about the last time we were on the show, there's huge story things happening that we never actually thought we would see the Warcraft storyline go this way. So we already know Blizzard is now changing the way they're telling the story. So I think whatever happens with Jaina and Sylvanas with these characters, I think we're ultimately going to be wrong in what we're predicting. I think it's going to be even more interesting than what we're guessing it is. Hopefully. I hope it's not back to some bland storyline, but we'll see.
Everyone asks, where's Jaina? No one asks, how's Jaina?
All right. With that.
It's true.
Also, Snow, I agree. But I'll mention that in a second.
Actually, sorry, can I just ask you guys one quick thing? Not a discussion, but it was mentioned on last week's show, and I think you guys are probably the best place to actually have dealt with it. How did you feel about the first 7 teams announced on Overwatch League? Because you guys are obviously US. With those cities announced, those first 5, I think, in the US, did they look pretty good to you, or are you not sure about them?
I'm not surprised, I guess, is how I would put it. I do hope that they expand further. Like, I would love to see, like, maybe a Denver team, which is the big city near where I live. But even if not, it happens. I mean, it depends on the success level of Overwatch League, I think. I
remembered the point that I was yelling in my car about. It was about Overwatch League. I'm gonna put that out there right now. So you guys were talking about the whether the team should be I can't remember. Allowed to transfer, yeah, or from cross country stuff like that.
Yeah,
and you were talking about sports and real life, how that works. You know, I would honestly say, in my opinion, that it shouldn't be cross country, necessarily, but it shouldn't necessarily be region locked per like area, right? Like the person shouldn't necessarily be from Detroit to play on a Detroit team, for example, because that's not how the NFL works. If we're basing it on real sports, there's literally a draft where every year people are moved from city to city, from team to team. And so real sports work that way. I don't see why necessarily esports can't work that way as well. But to the same point, you know, maybe it would be a bit extreme to just move a Korean player to a U.S. team because they bought him for a certain amount of money.
I think we'll see it happen, though, right?
Right. Yeah, it definitely gets more convoluted when the game includes the entire world and not just a country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's different sides to it. I was just definitely thinking more on like the NFL side, how they, you know, people get drafted all over the place within the same country. But yeah, it's those were my 2 cents on the point.
No, it's completely fair. I think what you've suggested is a really good compromise for that, because it does. What we were getting out on the show last week was, would teams feel invested in the same way that, you know, they're going to Denver, for example, to celebrate their local team in inverted commas, and it's full of foreign players. And I again, this sounds like a really bad tone to set, but
no,
it's right that it's. I think the thing that captured a lot of people's attention with Overwatch League was the idea that you can go and support the teams near you. And if we suddenly open up the transfer window to every free for all, then obviously, there's going to be, it's just going to be a real confusing mix-up. I think what you've said there with, let's keep it to nationalities and build that strong nationality focus like they're doing with the Overwatch World Cup, I think that's going to really help to potentially limit it, because as well it helps young talent in those countries come up.
And the other thing to keep in mind too is it's not just being like, you can't get into Overwatch League just by being bought and by spending more money, blah blah blah. Like, you have to remember that people are getting into these teams, like they are recruited based on their placement in their own region too. Like, people are being, so the placements to get into teams is still technically region locked, because they are taking the best players from each region. So it's not like certain players are being excluded. It is all going to be based on each player's skill level, where they sit on the rankings. They will have the chance to then compete and try out for the teams. So everybody who is really good at the game will have a fair shot. It's not just going to be dominated by South Korea and China, for example. I'm not quite sure where Gary went. But we're going to roll right into the final segment of the show. We have a new sounder from Koltrane for this as well. Everybody, it is time for the 20 questions.
Geeks of Azeroth, the moment has arrived. Have you studied the lore? Studied the lore? I am the lore! Move aside! It's time for Blizzard 20 questions!
That's right. It's time for Blizzard 20 questions. I love Koltrane so much. Thank you again for making these sounders for us. They're great. We will add music to them at some point. I'm not sure where Gary is, but I'm going to explain the rules.
He just got hired by a South Korean team. So
I think that's what Gary's back from South Korea. Welcome back from South Korea, Gary. I hope the trip was pleasant, but we are into Blizzard 20 questions now.
It was very pleasant.
Your audio is gone, Gary. I can't hear you.
It was very pleasant.
This is the old god striking back again, isn't it?
Yeah, Nazoth
keep
was
quiet.
At the door. I can't discuss any of the conversation. There may be a tentacle under my desk.
Oh my god.
If you know what I mean. Sorry. So this Blizzard 20 questions is going to be a bit different. We don't have the final two, which just happen to be guildies, who were in the running to win the $60 of Blizzard credit. Come on, listeners. You should have participated. We're giving away free money here. So don't worry. We'll do it again. We got Kale and Zeta. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Zeta. Welcome on the show.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. We got Kale.
Hello.
Hi, Kale. Welcome on the show. Gary, are you here?
I think so. Can you hear me?
I can. And
Okay.
Britzza.
Yes.
All right.
We made it.
We made it. It is time now for the official finale. It's time for Blizzard 20 questions. And you know what? Yeah, I guess everybody's allowed to play, except Gary and Britzza can't answer.
This is going to be tough.
Because they're not
I have a
good.
question.
I'm just going to make them do it.
Yeah.
Why don't we just have Kale and Zeta take turns asking questions? Whoever gets it first wins.
All right, that's fair. I like that. We know what we prepared for this show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So from here, how do we decide who goes first?
2,000 years later.
So the rules are you two are going to answer questions. Ask the questions, sorry. Me and Gerda.
No. We're throwing that out the window. They're just playing and we're listening.
They're playing, we're listening, and
Okay.
if you guys don't get it, we'll give the prize to Sadie Sticks.
Yep. All right.
Okay, one question though.
All right.
This does not count
this
one
your
of the 20.
Oh, come on.
No, because this is game related, not what the subject is.
Okay.
If we know it on the other person's turn, or does that matter?
You better hope that they don't get it on that turn.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Okay,
Without further
So
ado,
I'm-
Zeta, you're up.
alright, so I'm starting this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous. Alright.
I feel like
Is
Palpatine.
the subject in question found in the World of Warcraft universe?
Yes.
Does that mean it's my turn?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it a person?
No.
Is it a place?
Yes.
Is it a raid?
Yes.
Sorry, Sadie Sticks. I don't think you're in much of a chance here.
Okay, so it's a raid. Does this raid take place before Cataclysm?
Yes.
What was that question 5?
Yes. So you're now going for 6.
I'm just going to start typing these out in Discord because I realize you can't see our show notes.
Appreciate that. Is it during the Burning Crusades?
No.
Damn.
It's the Broken Shore.
It's going to be my guess next turn, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's go ahead and ask if it's Wrath, because it's either Wrath or Vanilla now.
Yeah, I know, but I'm scared because if I ask the one, oh my god.
They
Is
wouldn't
it
pick.
is it during Vanilla?
No.
I love how you're both trying to help each other out, but you're going to backstab each other the moment the answer kind of appears. This is such a better way to play this.
Well, all right. Let's see. We're on question 7, and it's 20 questions. There weren't 13 raids in Wrath, so I'm going to say it's not. I'm not going to say anything because you guys will take it as my question. So, is it Naxxramas?
No. This is a bad idea.
Oh god. Now my stomach hurts because now I think there's only just a couple other ones that it could be. Oh shit.
1, 2, 3, 4? 4, I think.
No, there's like
my
6.
God. Were there 6? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
that's
more than
right.
6.
Oh, that's right, because
there's they
this was
added
back
like
in
a
the day when
shitload
they
of
had
them.
wings that actually then like led into stuff like that. Ooh.
Oh.
There is a chance you could get very close to. I don't know. It depends on how you answer these.
This is tough. How do I want to ask this question?
See, I may have to clarify question number 4.
That's kind of a big part of it, man. What do you mean you
Yeah.
gotta clarify?
Put it in Skype chat. Me and Britzza can referee this for once.
Should I wait for the referee then? Before I
Yeah,
ask?
let's.
Okay.
Going to
Hold
our
on, give me
two law
like 10
specialists.
seconds.
So
Oh, okay.
See, you see why question number 4 may not be exactly black or white answer.
No. Question 4, you gave the proper answer.
Okay.
yeah, I agree.
You gave the proper answer.
All right.
I'm going to stick with that.
Let's continue. I just increased Zeta's blood pressure tenfold.
Dude, you're just
Sorry.
gonna hear, just like in about 2 minutes, you're just gonna hear boom, as my chair just hits the ground.
All right. So what was the decision?
It is a raid.
It is a
Technically, the
raid.
correct answer was listed on there. Oh shit. Okay.
That worries me.
That worries me a lot now too.
I would have got it wrong. Makes me feel any better.
Okay. Okay, we're really gonna ratchet up the pressure here.
Mhm.
Did this dungeon drop tier tokens? Or did this drop tier tokens?
Yes.
All right. I'm trying to think. Only tier dropped out of.
Hey, now.
Hey, I actually raided
No,
in Wrath.
well, I'm
so-
saying based on what I just told you guys in Skype, can you actually say that?
Yes.
Okay, you're right.
this is getting. There's some fuckery going on here, and I don't like it.
There is some kind of scary fuckery happening here.
When we say raid, do we mean one of those spinny portal things you go in with 5 people? That's it, isn't it?
No, I thought they meant one of those spinning things that had horses on sticks that you sat on, and they played like nice music, and you just.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that's
so,
a carousel. Oh, sorry, guys.
So it did drop tier, and we did confirm it is a raid.
Yes.
Technically.
I love being on this end of 20 questions. It's much more enjoyable.
I think technically gives it the wrong impression. It's not a technical thing. It's
Well-
something you do with a 10 or
Yeah.
25 man raid.
What? Well, not okay.
So I feel like maybe guessing specific raids is not the best way to go.
No, because if you were to say the specific raid, technically you would get it wrong.
But the question says it is a raid.
Technically, it is.
I don't understand how that works.
There
would
may
make
be
perfect
okay. I
sense.
don't want to give you too many hints until you're closer to it. So keep working at it. I'll give you more hints if you're not getting it. So no, you're not allowed to
Alright.
help because this is a $60 version of 20 questions, so they can't have any outside help.
Twitch chat, I'm being honorable. I'm not even looking at Twitch chat. I don't want to get misled.
Is it Ulduar?
No.
Okay, so it's not Ulduar. Okay, this is...
I can think of one way that the questions they could ask to really narrow it down. There is, I think naming them is possibly the wrong approach.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
Because if they name all the raids, they're not going to get it.
well, just
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize there were that many raids in Wrath.
Yeah.
Probably because they didn't raid much.
Also, the name of the raid is not the name of the location.
Is it the Argent Tournament Grounds?
Yeah!
Oh my!
Zeta, you did
That's
it!
going to be my next one.
Congratulations.
Trial of the Grand Crusader.
Yeah, congratulations, Zeta. That was quite... I guess
So
that
we
was...
sat there and waffled for 10 minutes about how can we give these guys a hint, and then they just go and guess it the moment.
Congratulations, Zeta. You are the winner. Unfortunately, I cannot give you your loot right now because I recently discovered that you cannot just gift BattleNet balance. You have to actually go to a physical location and buy gift cards. So that was happening. Yeah, that is weird.
That's so messed. You would think with all the technological advances that Blizz is made with Battle.net, giftable balance would be a part of that spreadsheet. But nope.
Yeah, but
definitely.
unfortunately, Tarley's bank had a word with Blizzard and said we can't let him spend this amount of money.
My bank doesn't have that same word with me.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, you can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and right here on Twitch TV/Geeks of Azeroth. You can find us on Twitter at Geeks of Azeroth. Find me personally at Tarley_pause. Britzza, where can we find you?
You can find me at Britzza_EG.
And, of course, Gary.
At Epic Geeks Gary.
And
so much easier to say that.
Be sure to follow one of the best guilds on Wormrest Accord. That would be Platinum Edge. We're awesome. Otherwise, we'll see you same time, same place next week. Everybody have a great week. And Azeroth. Bye-bye.
Gank.
Gank.
This podcast is part of the Epic Geeks Network. To find out more about our other gaming podcasts, head to epicgeeks.co.uk.